Hello, today I'll be giving my views on the three following questions the police, UBI, and prison work. To start off with, answering the first question, I'd say that in my opinion, abolishing the police is not an appropriate response to attempting to fix many injustices that are generated by this system, particularly because there is a lot of inequality and unfairness in many police departments around the country, especially when these police departments go into areas with a lot of crime or low income areas. There's a lot of racism and definitely segregation, even at times. However, I believe that abolishing the police entirely is not the most appropriate response because this institution also holds very important pillars in our community. For example, peacekeeping, helping out during emergency situations. They're the first responders usually to most medical problems or accidents, and overall, just ensuring that the community runs well and is stable. Um, uh, because of all of this, the police are an integral part of society, and they also help keep the peace by maintaining criminals at bay, um, upholding the judiciary system and the criminal system in general. Thus, abolishing the police would create a power vacuum and it would also create more problems than what it would solve. So, I would advocate for more community outreach programs in the police department and training the first generation or the newer generations of police officers in such a way that the racism and problems from the past generations don't transfer over. Now, going on to my second question, I think that a universal basic income sounds very good on paper, but it's also a very naive idea in many ways. And this is because there are many problems in our nation. Yeah, like poverty, homelessness, and rehabilitation of formerly incarcerated individuals. But at the same time, the what the UBY does is promote a culture of slacking off, of laziness, while also not really compensating individuals that put in a lot of work in comparison to individuals that would rather live off the UBY system. Thus, I think that even though there should be some notable exceptions, such as during the COVID-19 pandemic when the whole world was being shut down and we had a lot of people losing their jobs and things like that. I think that the UBY in general would not be a very appropriate solution to homelessness, for example. And overall, UBY funds should actually be allocated based on both need and also progress seen by the individual person in their own lives, such as getting a job, holding the job, etc., etc. And thus, finally, I think that from my perspective, prisoners should not be required to work without pay, even if they are benefiting a low income community. And that's because I think that each and every person does have a right to be compensated for any work they put in. Otherwise, it is just modern day slavery. So that's why I would argue that there should be some compensation, even if it's below minimum wage, such as what was seen during the COVID-19 pandemic again in New York when Governor Andrew Cuomo established working facilities for these inmates to produce hand sanitizer, which was very scarce in the moment. So I think that there should be some compensation given to prisoners always, or else having them work without pay is both inhumane and barbaric, in my opinion.